What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode. If you're new to the channel, then please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. So for today's race, I'm doing the stage 2 of the Shimano Find Your Fast series. I'm doing the Outer Scotland route, which is great because I definitely need to regroup from the stage 6 of the Tour de Zwift. If you watched that video, then you know
I almost died.
so this course is fairly short and it's fairly flat. It is punchy, and for some reason, I tended to struggle a lot more than I traditionally struggle on the hills. These hills weren't steep; they were just repetitive, and they were short attacking hills. And there was a lot of attacks in this race. And I typically, hey, part of my weakness is with me being a bigger rider. One of my weaknesses is the fact that I tend to heels tend to be an Achilles heel for me, no pun intended. And so when riders attack on heels, I tend to struggle a lot more. And in this race, just like the rest of the races, I definitely struggled more than expected. Interesting enough, I tend to do better on deep, long inclines that you can just kind of grind it out. So it definitely felt like, especially in the earlier part of the races, that the power ups were not my friend. I kept getting an anvil, bruh. I'm already heavy. I don't really need an anvil. So because of the butt whooping I took in stage 6 of the Tour de Zwift at the earlier stages of the race, I decided for every attack I was going to make every attempt to run it down early and often.
I almost died.
And that wasn't going to happen to me again. So every attack, for the most part, I made an asserted effort to run it down early and often, especially with the race being a fairly short. So at this point, I think the heels are actually starting to wear on everybody. People are trying to position themselves so they don't get dropped. This is usually, if you're going to get dropped coming off of an incline like this, is typically where it's going to happen. So I finally get a feather as a power up, much needed and much appreciated. I'm able to use it right away going up on an incline. Again, these heels are starting to wear on me just because there's so many of them. Although they're not major heels, they're just there in multitude. And so my legs, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Not completely exhausted. My heart rate is still manageable. It's still at a good spot. So I'm not killing myself, but I could definitely feel the fatigue starting to set in on my legs. Look at that. Wouldn't you know it? The power up God has done me a favor. A second feather. So good deal. Perfect because we're going into another series of inclines and I definitely need it at this point. So the one thing I'm calculating more is when should I use it? To be honest with you, I'm kind of nervous that I may end up getting an anvil for the rest of the power ups. So part of me is just saying hold on to it for as long as possible. But here we go, another steep incline. I hit the power up, I hit the feather power up. It helps me to get up this hill pretty quickly. Again, this was a pretty steep incline, but it was a short hill. These tend to be my Achilles heel because it opens me up for attacks because riders would do very well at attacking. And again, from the stage 6 at a Tour de Zwift, I still was trying to mentally recover from that shellacking I took because
I almost died.
and I wasn't about to let that happen again. And so at just during this race, every opportunity that I had to run down an attack, I made a point to do it. So, not to beat a dead horse, of course, I'm beating it with a bat. But I've seen this. I've seen this episode before, right? Where a whole group, about 5 riders, make an attack, and they're going to bunch together in order to make sure that they can work together to hold off every rider. It happened in the Tour de Zwift, and
I almost died.
I wasn't going to let that happen again. So as soon as they attacked, I went for it. Now a rider did get away from me, um, and he pushed. But this part of the course, it has a lot of, the hills were short, but the declines were steep, and this was definitely an advantage for me. With the being the weight I am, it definitely positioned me well. So now we're at the final sprint. Everybody's starting to push to the finish line. As a track coach, I always tell my runners, make sure you push all the way through the finish line. The difference between first and second place in most races is typically less than a second. And so you got to make sure you do the work all the way through the finish line. You never want to lose at the end. Until next time, I see you guys at the finish line. Peace.